For more on the I Am Bradley Manning campaign video, as one of the people who actually was involved in that video's production, activist and independent producer Logan Price. Hi there, Logan. Thank you so much for joining us. So talk to me about the inspiration for this new campaign, this video campaign, and why were so many people willing to get involved in it?
Well, it's actually not, thank you, Megan, it's actually not a brand new campaign. A couple of years ago, we started the I Am Bradley Manning photo petition, which you can find online, and that's basically involves thousands of people holding signs saying I am Bradley Manning, and sort of a way of showing kind of global support and very visual support for him. The video that we just produced, and we'll be releasing the full version on Monday, and hopefully more extended content later, is sort of a way of trying to bring more attention back to that campaign and to be able to make a little more visible the voices of thousands of people. We were lucky to have a lot of notable folks, celebrities, journalists, and people in Iraq war veterans, etc., volunteer for the video, but I think it's important to highlight the fact that it's a much broader movement than just that.
So you used the word volunteer. Did you have to convince any of these celebrities or anyone to join the campaign, or did most of them approach you?
We approached a lot of people, and mostly we just put the word out. We put the word out about it as much as we could. Mostly we sent a lot of emails, which I'm sure the NSA could probably tell you about at this point. But we did the best we could. We didn't have much time, and it was an all-volunteer project, so we had producers in probably 5 different cities helping us out, and just trying to catch people where they were and where we could.
Now, I noticed that in this video, you consciously chose not to put the names of any of the celebrities anywhere on the video itself. Everyone was just holding up a sign that said, I am Bradley Manning. Why? What was the significance of this?
Well, that video that you saw is basically we released that as a teaser because we wanted to have something to provide right as the court-martial was starting. And we also wanted to leave people guessing a little bit who might be in the next one and who a lot of those people are. Some of the folks in the video are journalists that are not as recognizable by face, and other activists and people like that. So there will definitely be a full list of everybody who has either volunteered for the video or who we've taken photos of in the final version.
So what effect does the celebrities and the activists and the journalists, what effect do they have on the popularity or the influence of this campaign?
I think mostly what we're trying to do is make it obvious that anybody can support Bradley Manning. I think we've also been trying to provide as much sunlight as possible and as much attention on the aiding the enemy charge, which is the treason charge that he's facing. It's a capital offense. And we certainly didn't anticipate it, but I think with the Edward Snowden NSA leaks, that's become even more important. So we're pretty glad to be able to be doing this. I think that it's just the absurdity of that charge. I don't think could really withstand a public debate were one to truly happen. So that was one of our goals with it. A lot of legal scholars and human rights organizations, et cetera, have commented on how destructive that charge could be to future whistleblowers and even freedom of the press. But that debate has not been happening, I think, enough in the public sphere, partly because the mainstream press has barely even stepped out on it, even though they ought to be screaming and hollering about it right now.
And we know that the defense did earn some notable steps forward this past week in the trial. But finally, does art, whether it's a video or a graphic novel like what we saw Clark Stockley is actually creating, convey the story of Bradley Manning better than articles or reporters can? What is the point of this type of work? What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, I think, definitely part of the story, an important part of it is the breaking news that's coming out about it. And, books have been written about WikiLeaks and Bradley Manning, movies have been made now, et cetera. And so hopefully that story will become more well-known. I think it's an especially important story for our generation, though, perhaps maybe one of the most important. One of the things we tried to highlight with the video was in Bradley Manning's own words, was sort of the question, which I think is maybe one of the most important questions for our time, which is what would you do if you had access to information that you believe belonged in the public domain and that was necessary for people to make informed decisions within a democracy? And I think that's the same question that Edward Snowden answered recently. And then the other question is, then what do we do with that information? And I think that for people like Manning and Snowden, it's important not just that we act on the information, but that we protect them, and so that people in the future are willing to give us that information. I think that's the cost for living in a free society. And I think if we don't support them, if we don't protect them, we will no longer be, deserve to call ourselves a free society, really.
Very interesting. Well, we are all excited to see what comes next from your I Am Bradley Manning campaign and the full video. Activist and independent producer Logan Price.
Thank you.